me, I had a hard time. I've had a lot of times where I was on my face emotionally, just like on my face. Like, I wouldn't even believe. And looking back now, it's like, I'm thankful that I went through. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Park Car Conversation. This is episode 12 with my girl, Tarika. Tarika is 20. I am 26. And today's topic is going to be speaking to my younger self. She hit me up and she was hella direct. She was just like, let's go on the Park Car Conversation. I feel like we have a lot of good things to talk about. Me being younger than you and me being older. There's a lot of things that I could speak to in my past and vice versa we can get from each other. So today we're just going to break it down and mix it up and chop it up and talk about a little bit about everything that's going on.
Girl talk, basically.
Girl talk. Okay, let me actually think about me at 20 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God, time is flying. Tell me what it feels like to be 20.
Honestly, being 20 is like an emotional roller coaster. Well, for me, like, I don't know. It just seems like I'm going with life, basically. And it's like, not that I'm trying to say, like, I've just been put out into the world and, like, here's life. Because for sure there's people around me who is on the right track and doing what they're supposed to. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is my life. And what am I doing? And what's my calling? How do I know if I'm doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing at times? And it's just, I feel like what's life to me right now could mean different to you. So then, like, you know, that's where I can learn from it and learn from your experience and stuff.
Facts. Mm-hmm. And we were just speaking about it. You said that sometimes being your age, you feel pressure to know where you're at. Mm-hmm. Like, and I just want to say that ain't it. That's not it. Please, if you're watching this and you're in your younger 20s, don't feel pressure to know exactly where you're at. This, like, once you hit that pinnacle where you're just like, okay, I need to know more, you're never really at that point. But especially in your younger 20s, like, you haven't even scraped the surface of experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just finished, like, high school, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I have seen you grow up. I've known Tarika for over a decade, right? I'm best friends with her older sister. So I've literally seen Tarika grow from, like, just Tarika, you don't really pay mind to Tarika. And then all of a sudden Tarika is, like, big. She's grown. She has an opinion. Next thing you know, she's out with us. Like, you know what I mean? And I just think there's, like, if I was to say something to my older self and something to say to you as being, you know, I guess 6 years older than you, it's just don't be too hard on yourself. Like, you said something that's really important, that you're not afraid to take L's. You're trying. Like, literally when I said you're a go-getter, like, you're a go-getter. Yeah. This is a 20-year-old who has 2 businesses running. You want to shout out your business? Let them know your business.
The Glam Bar 07, like, look at her face.
Ooh, yes.
I did this so quick and it was a breeze and she loved the experience, and that's just what's most important at the end of the day. Right now, I feel like with my businesses, I'm more focused on, like, the service, how I am to people, how does people perceive me, because if I do something that you don't like, okay, like, I can fix that the next time, but if you come to me the first time and I'm not that great, then it's kind of be like, okay, we know as a Black owner or Black business, you're not it. Like, you know, and I never want that to be the case. I want people to remember me for good service, and just like what you said, I'm very talkative, good conversation. So, and really in the kitchen, I just started that since the pandemic started. That has been going amazing. So check that out. And yeah.
I need to get on board with both. Yeah. Like, really in the kitchen, like, I really be needing to taste some of this stuff because I see what you post. Like, and you just got to keep going. I'm so proud of you. And you've had a handle on this. So I would say, to be honest, looking back at 20, you are far ahead of the game than I was. Like, I was just, like, I was making money. I had a job, but I couldn't see myself thinking of, like, owning my own business. I knew I wanted to do something, but I wasn't there at that point of time. I feel like only now my, like, I guess, what would you say? I'm in my mid-20s, my older 20s. Like, I guess I'm considered honestly, I don't know. Like, what do you consider me? You think I'm in the older 20s? No. Like,
I would still consider you young. I don't know. To me, once you're in the 20s, you're young still. I feel like when you turn 30 as a woman, that's like a whole different ball game. That's a ball court that I am not ready for, and that's like what made me realize the other day is, like, when adults really tell you, like, enjoy being a kid while it lasts, I understand that now. Like, Because it's like sometimes I feel like I'm stressing about big woman problems, and it's just like I'm not even in that bracket yet, like, you know, and it's just like I'm not really in the moment with me being 20 years old. And that's what I was going in before telling you that, like, at times I feel like I'm just not where I am, and I'm always pressuring myself because society makes us believe that if you don't have certain things, or if you're not doing certain things, or if you don't drive your own car by like 18, from the moment when you're in high school and you don't have your own car, people are already looking at you like, okay, we already know what type of lane you're about to be in when you're done school. And it just comes down to, like, with my age, I just feel like we like watch a lot of people and what they're doing, and we're not really focused on ourselves. So I feel like I can get captured a lot in like things that I'm not really supposed to be focusing on. Mm-hmm. So do you think that's the same goes for you, being like 20, how old are you, 25?
26.
26. Do you find that like sometimes you're getting sucked into like the loop and social media and like your younger self? Do you find like you could go back and think to yourself like, like this is how I was when I was like 18, 19?
When you are in your early 20s, right? I think it's a time where you're just exploring. You just got out of high school, or you're just, you know, some people that might be watching this are still in high school. And, you know, let me put it this way. I've always said, don't let people excuse you from the feelings that you have. I know some people, I've talked a lot of, you know, the young girls in the high schools, you know, that's where I was working. And we'll talk about relationships. And a lot of people are quick to be like, you guys don't know what love is yet. And to be honest, okay, let's bring it there. Let's talk about relationship. Yep. Let's just be honest, okay? Okay, I tell them all the time. Let's switch. Say that again.
Let's just switch the topic. Take two.
I think that when it's just like, if you were to think that you're going to be with someone from your 18, 20 years old to 30, does it happen? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But you just become such a different person. Mm-hmm. And people like, I just feel like at that age, okay, if you say you want to take that on, if you want to take on these big people problems, these big people life expectations, you got to be able to mentally take that. And I just don't think a lot of the youth are at that mental frame where they can like, okay, I want to be a big person. I want to have a baby young. I'm going to do this. A lot of things will force you to boss up. Mm-hmm. Some people is their circumstances, their living, you know, their environments. A lot of people is just, you know, I guess put in harder positions than others. But one thing I will say is that at that age too, if you feel like you're taking on big people problems, it's probably because you are. You know, you're not exempt. You're not at an age at 20. You're not at an age anymore where it's like, it's not fair game. You're not in high school. You're not being sheltered, you know. So some of the things that you're going to take on, you got to take it to the chin, but you just got to be ready. I just think at 26 now, I'm able now to like, when things happen, or if I'm going to put myself in a position, I'm aware. I'm thinking about that in my forefront. When I was younger, when I was 20, I wasn't mindful. You think I was worried about where I was putting my money into a business or whatever? I was out, I was partying, I was having fun. You know what I mean? I was just like having, I would say just more fun than anything. There's no goals.
Like, see, that's where I am right now. I'm in between that stage where it's like, I want to live life, have fun, or whatever that means. And then I have like the business side. It's like, okay, like, what do I do? Where do I go? And then like, if I make a mistake, I will like beat myself up because it's like, okay, I know I'm trying to go the business route and I know that I have to save up X, Y, Z, and then I'll just go through like a down, like it goes up and down, up and down. It's like an emotional roller coaster. It's like up and down, not only with finances, but just with like everything in general. It's just like up and down. Do you feel like that changes when you are at your age right now? Does that change, that emotional roller coaster?
Girl, I would be lying to you if I said it did. It can. It's up to you. I think I let myself, like I said, you have a good handle in it. I let myself ride that emotional roller coaster a little bit longer than I would say projecting what I'm looking at from you, longer than you are going to. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I felt like until I was ready to work on my mind, and that happened when I was like 20, not until I had my son really, until I got pregnant at 24, I was still just living everyday life. I was just going with the motions, like having fun. I would say that I'm just able, like I said, to handle them better. Like when things hit me to my chest, like I'll take it, I'll deal with it in a mature way. Mm-hmm. You know, before, like, it's more of like I was at a point where the problems were always had to do with probably somebody else. And if they did, like, if it was because of my actions, I didn't take full responsibility because I didn't have changed behavior. I think now it's just like, as I'm getting older, like when I'm riding the roller coaster of emotion, like, okay, there's only one way to get better from this, and that's I gotta work. It might be hard, it might be uncomfortable, but like good things and success and growth doesn't come out of like out of comfort zones. There's something that really been like in my mind. It's like no revolution has ever came out of a comfort zone. It's not going to happen that way, you know? So at 20, I just wasn't, and I would say at 23, I still wasn't at that point where I was just like, oh, I need to be working on my mind. I need to be like making myself a better person, investing more, reading, listening to podcasts, doing things that I like, writing things down, like things that are going to help me gain assets when I was older. Girl, I was just worried about having fun. And I think that's okay too. I think that's okay too. Like the pressure that you have on yourself at 20, and a lot of the generation before us, they were just kind of like, it was a different time and age. You know what I mean? Their money value, they made more and it held more value. Today's day and age, the way our society is set up, the way Toronto is set up, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like you always kind of look at the finances like it's really not practical for people to just, you know, work one job until they're 65, you know, retire, have a decent pension. And I'll say that to someone who's 20. If someone said that to me at 20, I'll just say, okay, yeah, I'll think about that when it's time. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I had did it different because I made, you know, money when I was younger. I was always working. I wish, like, let's talk about finances. I wish I could have put my money into things where I saved a lot more to be in a better position where I'm at now. So you have a good take on that? What do you think about your finances at 20? Are you worried about that at all?
Of course, I am worried about that at 20 years old because it's like I'm at that point in time where like I'm trying to build. And it's like I'm trying to build for myself, and like I'm not only trying to build for myself but for my family too. So it's like I want to save towards certain things, but it's just like how, like sometimes it's like how, like where do I start, where do I begin? And it's like when I am going and when I am doing things like, okay, whatever, say I'm doing good with saving, everything's looking good, and then life happens and then it all goes down to zero again. And then that's when I start worrying, and that's when the pressure comes in. And like, you know, I don't really let life just go. I always want to be in control of things. I want to be able to figure things out instantly. And that's when God comes into play, because like you just need to trust in God and trust that, like, you know, he has your life even when like stuff does happen. Because I watch inspirational videos and people like Patrick Bet-David, and there'll be videos where they're talking about having a big financial crash when they're 30 years old. They had like millions of dollars and they go down to zero. Like, you know, you just never know when certain things like that might happen. So it's like, I feel like for people my age, I feel like we just need to go with life. It's either you have it, great, kudos to you. But if you don't, just start building, because now you know that life is too short, and regardless, you're not taking money to the grave. So it's like, do what you can while you're here.
So you wouldn't be able to believe the things that I say until I tell you a little bit how I was with my younger self, right? And I feel like a lot of folk, when they get, you know, a little bit older, they look at the younger generation and they kind of just write them out like, they're just young, et cetera, et cetera. But I could really genuinely see myself in a lot of, you know, you young girls, I would say. And so I'm talking about the early 20s. This is even trip to be able to say that, right? Because now I look at it, it's just like, now being 26, you know, looking back, when you say you're 20, it's like, shit. Yeah. 20, like I remember what I was doing when I was 20. You know what I mean? Okay, so Jafina at 20, at 23. Okay, I was fun. I was traveling. I was partying. I was going to fetes. I was very social. I had a lot of friends. I was always out and about. It was like, you know what I'm saying? You have a hot foot down upon road all day. Like
I know your yard.
Don't know my yard. Like seriously, like I was just out all the time. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to tell any young female or male like it's not your time to have fun? No, it definitely is. It definitely is. Be safe while you're at it, but it's definitely the time. You know what I mean? There has to be a balance. You burn yourself out too quick. You could be a go-getter. Don't get me wrong. You could go out and get everything and figure it out all when you're that age, but I'm just going to say, likely, and the chances are you won't have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out at 26. I'm still learning, but I'm definitely, let me tell you, 6 years, if I realize what happened in 1 year, in 10 months you could grow a whole human like I did.
On that. But I feel like I just need to find myself more. Like, I need to wake up and be able to go on an adventure by myself.
Okay, so when you say you want to be able to find yourself more, what are you looking for? Like, what about yourself what are you looking for? Explain that.
What I really want to do in life, I feel like. Because, yes, I have 2 businesses, but my interest is in other places as well. There's so many things that I see myself doing and told myself that I'm going to do. Like, if there was a thing where you can have 10 different businesses, that would literally be me. I would have 10 different things. Like, I don't know how to stay on one thing and just, that'll be it for life.
And so do you feel like you're pressured? Like, do you like anxiety?
Yes.
You have pressure and stuff because you're trying to find that, or you just feel like you don't have it?
I don't want to call things anxiety. Like, and like, you know, when people just say, oh, I have anxiety, or like I have depression because they feel sad one day. Like, I don't really want to call it anxiety, right. But like, I do pressure myself a lot because I find that, like, maybe it's because of the things that I see. Like, if I scroll on Instagram, it's about what you see too, what my eyes are exposed to. So that may play a role in why I feel so pressured sometimes. And that's why I had to tap out of Twitter. I had to delete that because, you know, social media just gets so, like, I don't know, it gets to you sometimes. Right. Like, do you find that too?
100%. I feel like you're like an old soul trapped in a younger female's body. The things that
I'm trapped in my mind though.
So your mind, it's like you're searching. I feel like, okay, me seeing you grow up from young, right? I've seen you grow up with, you know, your older siblings, your older cousins.
Older people.
Right? So you, I think, are ahead because you've seen, I remember we spoke about that earlier, like you have things and people, an example to look at, right? Not to say like you need to, I mean, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Say, I need to be better than this. Like the standard and the things, the wrongs. So that's something that, like, for me, looking back when you ask, like, do you think social media takes a toll, like even at my age? Hell yeah. It's still about what you digest in your life. I'll tell you that. Right? So me at your age, the things I was digesting just weren't progressive to where they need to be. I feel like at 20, you got a handle on that. You sound like I was done with Twitter because you know, a lot of 20-year-olds are on Twitter.
Like,
tell them about that.
They're on that. Twitter, I find, is very negative. Very negative. Even when you go on, I had to delete the Shade Room because it's negative. All of those, no, it's negative. You're just listening about celebrities' drama and you don't even know if it's real life drama. By next week, you see them kissing again. Like, you know, it's weird. So it's just like, I find Instagram is a good thing and it's a bad thing at the same time. Like, it just depends on how you use it. You can use it to your advantage, use it as a tool, use it as a way to reach further, reach connections, or you can be doing nonsense, looking at nonsense. It's like I took away half of my followings. I was following like stupid Toronto stuff, like, you know, but it's just drama. So I started following like Christians, pastors, inspirational talkers, just like for me to see more positive things than seeing the negative side of social media, because the world's going crazy right now.
If you haven't been able to tell from the tone of Tarika, you have got it figured out a lot. Like, I'm proud of you at 20 to where your mind is at. The fact that you're mindful of those things, you understand that they take a toll, because those are some things that I got to check myself at 26 to be like, you know, like you have to filter out to go to the next step. To get the next glow up, to get to the next level, you have to do those things. You need to like refine your life every so often. You need to clean it out. You need to read back and check in and see what's good for you, what's not good for you. So I'm proud of you that you're doing that. So the things like if you just keep going on that way, you listen, you said at 25 you want a crib?
Yep. Or like an idea, like that's an idea, because I'm surrounded by older people all the time. I have so many siblings, so many family members, and they're all older than me. Right. And I'm not trying to say like they're not where they're supposed to be, but I have an idea like, okay, by at least 25, I want to be having my own place. Cause like, I don't know who wants to be like, I don't know. I'm getting already tired of being in family's house so much times. Like, I just want my own space. And that's why I find that like Airbnbs will get a lot of teenagers money nowadays, because they just want to escape. They want to get away sometimes. They want to be in their own space. So, and that's where it also goes into our focus could be in the wrong places when we're trying to do certain things. Like, we can't be getting Airbnbs every week, and we know that we want to have a crib by 25. But you're at Airbnbs every week spending $300 on a place for a weekend type thing.
So let me ask you a question. Do you want to rent at 25 or own at 25? Go for it.
I don't know, because I'm not educated on those type of things.
Girl, let me tell you something, okay? You say that now. Between 20 and 25, 25 is going to be tomorrow.
Right?
25 will be tomorrow, and sometimes you might be in the same spot wondering the same things. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I say it takes a lot of mind to really think about it. Okay, so you can say that. Go ask questions. Talk to people. You know what I mean? It's not out of your reach. It definitely can happen. Like, anything you want to happen, the thing is, and it's important at your age, you need to be thinking about the things that you want. Yeah. If you don't have no goals, when I was 23, like, I had a kid and I wasn't planned. You know what I mean? Like, I thought also, like, I wanted to be able to own by 25. I wanted to do X, Y, Z. Because when I was younger, let me tell you, I was in the service industry. I made money. I bought my first Beamer when I was 21. You know what I mean? I had cars before that, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I was on top of it. And, like, to see, like, when life hits you, like, you know what I mean? Life hits you. That's the thing. Shit happens.
That's what I was saying before. Just life comes at you and you don't know. Just like when I was going back telling you, like, entrepreneurs will be 30, 40, they will be millionaires, and then they go back to rock bottom. Like, you just never know when life happens. And just going back to what you were saying about whatever you want, basically you just have to reach for it. I just find, like, I was just thinking to myself today that, like, I am right now is a different light on how God thinks where I am right now in life. So it's just like, there's so many resources that are like, there's so many resources that I'm able to reach for. It's just up to me to go and get those certain resources. Like, it's like, if I have somewhere to go, okay, I don't have a car right now. How else am I going to get there? There's a bus, there's a taxi, there's a cab. Which one am I going to do? Oh, I don't want to take the bus because I don't want to take the bus. That's cringy. So I'm gonna spend that $12 that I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just nasty now. It's just honestly, ever since I started driving, and I go back on the bus, it just feels a little nasty, like dirty. I don't really feel like sitting on the bus.
Let me tell you something, okay? This is the only problem that I see with the youth, and that was a problem that I had when I was a youth too, right? Remember, there's a big people concept. I'm not gonna sit on the bus no more. I was too bougie. I was the same way. I never touched a TC after I got my first car at 16. I was like, I'm not doing it, right? And now, I mean, that translated to other aspects of my life, family life, career, boom, boom, boom. I was like, I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have this. Boom, I'm gonna be here by this age. And then remember, life hit me. And then all of a sudden, the only thing I can think of is just like, you really have to, like, be able to, like, in a way, humble yourself. That's the one thing I have a problem with the younger generation, and that's the same problem I had when I was your age. Is I wasn't able to ground myself and to think, like, practically. Okay, so you can't, like, you have to go from the ground roots. Yeah. Sometimes you're gonna have to ride that bus. You talking about mortgage? You're talking about owning a house at 25. You're 20 and you want to spend what, $600-700 on a car every month plus gas. Let's consider that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's work on numbers. Like, how much salary do you make? How much do you make an hour? You know, at 20 years old, like, are you making $40, $34, $37, $40, $42 an hour? Are people doing that? With your own business, that's your best chance, right? And you have got, like, go for it. Yeah. That can happen for you. And it can happen. You know what I'm saying? But for the masses, like, let's think about it. Like, until you get to that spot where it's like, okay, I'm not going to do nothing. Like, I'm going to be in control of my own income. Yo, whoo. You think you're going out every so often, the food's going to add up. Everything adds up. And shoot, let me tell you.
And you don't realize until you're at zero again. That's the
or
thing.
Or negative.
Yeah, you don't realize. And that's when credit comes into play. And it's just like, there's just so much about life. I feel like as a female that there's still more to learn. Right. At the end of the day, I'm still young.
Right. Being still young, there was a lot of emotions when I was your age. 20 seems like a far away from me, to be honest with you. Like, I really only can remember from like 22, 23 up when I feel like I was getting a little bit closer to having more solid things in my life, like thinking of things long term, you know, trying to, like, really boss up. And what I knew then, seriously, what I know now, if I had known then, I wouldn't have had to go through half the shit I went through. And let me tell you, I had a difficult time between where I was then to where I am now. Yeah. I've had a lot of growth. dead ass. Like, I have actually seen a lot of things and been in a lot of situations that I put myself there. Why did I put myself there? I look back at 26, like, you know what I mean? For sure. And at 20, whatever ages those were, it still felt like real problems. It still felt like, real big woman, like real love, like real everything, like real paper, real life. Like, I was out on the road, I was a big woman, And then at some point, life hit me. And it's just like, woo, child, buckle up. Listen, at 20, life, it doesn't just gear down. You don't just get to gear down, you know what I'm saying? And that will take a lot of people. That for me, I had a hard time. I've had a lot of times where I was on my face emotionally, just like on my face. Like, I wouldn't even believe. And looking back now, it's like, I'm thankful that I went through the pain so I can be in a better off position, through life experiences as I get older. But at the end of the day, like, my hope and my dream and my goal for, girls your age is, baby, don't put yourself in those positions. Don't do it to yourself. Like, why was I so, like, I was blacking out every weekend. I was dead ass blacking out every weekend, like, viciously, like, just not being mindful of myself. I was on the road. I was hot foot. I would wake up and just be like, no remembrance. At one point, I remember I had 7 scars on my face, literally. Really? 7 scars on my face, and that was just from drinking a lot. And I just, it's just like, looking at about it now, it's like, do you think I could ever do that? Right now in my life? Absolutely not. But listen, life hits you fast.
Right now, because I understand. I'm at a point where I'm understanding that whatever you put into your mind is really going out into the universe, and it's just coming back. It's just coming back. It's just going in a circle, really. So I'm just focused on my mind and getting out of it. Stop thinking so much and doing more. Right. When I get out of my mind more, then I'll be doing more. Then I'll be acting on things. Then I'll have a clearer vision of where I want to be when I'm 25 years old. Right.
Set yourself up for success. Because
sure, that's exactly what I want. Of course, success, to be happy and all those things, but I just don't know where and when.
And at your age, if you don't know, that's okay. If you're dating somebody and you guys break up, that's okay. If you have a job that you think you're going to be in and you love it and you get let go, that is okay. If you know what I mean? Like, your life changes so much between 20 and 26. Like I said, like, what happens in a year? What can happen, first of all, in seconds? Like, that's how fast life hits you. 1 second you're here, there's,
every day is different.
There's tons of brethren I've had that when I was at 20, and there's so many that aren't here anymore. And just for just like the wildest reasons, it's just like that. You know what I mean? Precious. Like, it's so precious. The things that I want for you to never have to experience, like, terrible financial pressure or bad problems. Set yourself up for success. So spend time, make your money, do good things with it, push your business. You know what I mean? Never go through a breakup and just feel like it's done, like it's the end for you. Like, this took me over, I can't bounce back. No, you gonna bounce back.
I went through that already.
She said she went through it already. Yep. And you might go through it again and again and again. And there's a lot of girls that are your age that don't want to hear it. I was that girl. I was like, I always wanted to be a big woman. I always wanted to just be like, I was ready to settle down and get married. I was always ready to do like big things without playing the part. Like, that's the thing. Remember, it's just like, okay, you can say this. I want to be X, Y, Z. I want to have a house at 25. I want to do this. I want to be this person. Yeah, you can be. But if you can't answer it, that's the problem with the youth. You're going to make mistakes along the way. Things aren't going to look perfect all the time. It is okay. It's going to happen. Don't let nobody run you. And don't let you think you're going to run somebody else. You are fully responsible for you, and you think you're going to like grow, and you have to grow. We all have to grow. And at 20, the amount of things you're going to experience between 20 and 26, 20 and 30 is just immense, right? So, and if you think you're going to learn and grow for yourself and plus take somebody else's problems on, you can help, but you can't take them on. I feel like you're one of those people, like, you can do everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? And keep going. Can't stop.
I definitely took everything into consideration, and it did make me feel a little bit better just to know that, like, I'm not really in it alone, and that being a female doesn't really stop. And like, even at your age, you could still go through things that a 20-year-olds can go through. So it's like, thank you for being so opened this whole entire time during your whole entire journey with the parked car conversation.
This is a powerhouse. This is a 20-year-old powerhouse, y'all. And when you see young folk like her in our communities, you need to lift them up. Give them an opportunity to share their ideas, because let me tell you, you hit me up and I was like, yep, facts. Like, I'm so happy that you had an idea. You're ready to go. If you just stay ready and don't allow yourself to go through like the hurts. If they do happen, take it to chin, keep it moving, right? Sure. But you're going to set yourself up. I know it. I can tell. You're going to set yourself up in great positions to be like, to win everything that you want.
To win and to take L's. To win and to take L's. Because I'm not afraid to, like, you know, make a mistake or hit a bump in the road. So I'm going to win.
The Park Car Conversation, y'all. Episode number 12.
Bye.